Hey guys, what's up? It's Darkmech here and welcome back to another video. Today we're covering off the Protection Warrior. So this has been a fair buzz topic at the moment around the tank community, the state of Protection Warriors at the moment, with some people loving it and a hell of a lot of people saying the whole thing needs a rework. 5 new talents have been implemented with 1 still to come, so I thought it was time to come and take a look at this for a second time. It kind of feels like Blizzard are close enough to now to what they want to see the Protection Warrior looking like and functioning like in battle for Azeroth. So, I spent the last couple of days over here on beta. It's the 12th of May at the moment where this is all current, trying out different talents and just spam running dungeons. And I'm going to give you my impressions, my feels, and my vibes from that today. So keep in mind, straight up front, this is not a theory crafting review of the warrior at the moment. It is not a mathematical analysis. It is purely based around Darkmech's feels. So straight up, if you have not been keeping up with any of the news concerning the prot warrior from Legion to Battle for Azeroth, I'm going to give you a really quick overview as to where we are now. Avatar is now a baseline ability. Intimidating Shout is baseline, Shockwave is baseline, Rallying Cry is baseline for prot now. Battle Shout is a party or a raid-wide buff that you provide people that gives attack power. Ignore Pain is now gone. There is no more Ignore Pain in-game. There are 5 new talents that have been implemented with 1 still to come, and I will touch on them when we get to the talent section of this. Demoralizing Shout is now on the GCD. Shield block costs 40 rage for 6 seconds versus the 15 rage for 6 seconds it is on Legion. Talents wise, Warbringer's gone, Inspiring Presence is gone, Renewed Fury is gone, and Warlord's Challenge is gone. So that is where we are now. So to kick this off, I want to start by covering off the talents on BFA on beta at the moment. So as I said, there are 5 new talents that have been implemented for the warrior with 1 still to come. So the first one we're going to cover is Punish. So Punish Shield Slam deals 30% increased damage and reduces enemies' damage against you by 5% for 9 seconds. This is a really solid talent. Big hooray. That is an awesome talent. The next one we're going to cover off is Unstoppable Force. Avatar increases the damage of Thunderclap by 100% and reduces its cooldown by 50%. Again, that's a pretty awesome talent. Talent number 3 that's come in is Bolster. Now this is the warrior's now 2nd form of mitigation. It kind of is Blizzard's, I guess. We took away Ignore Pain, we're giving you this, but it's a talent option. Bolster increases armor by 40% of your strength for 10 seconds for 20 rage. It is worth noting that it is locked behind the GCD at the moment, which doesn't feel great, but we'll get into that later too. The next new talent, number 4, is Rumbling Earth. When Shockwave strikes at least 3 targets, its cooldown is reduced by 10 seconds. And the last new talent implemented at the moment is Menace. Intimidating Shout disorientates all enemies for an additional 4 seconds and causes enemies to cower in fear instead of fleeing. So they're the 5 new talents with still 1 coming soon at the moment, which I don't know what they're going to put there. Some of the old talents from Legion have also seen tweaks or reworks. Into the Fray now functions with allies as well, so you actually get that haste bonus from enemies and allies. This makes it extremely easy to keep a 5 stack up in a dungeon format and get that benefit, so it actually brings some value to this talent now. Never Surrender has also been reworked, obviously with the removal of Ignore Pain. This no longer works in conjunction with Ignore Pain. So now what they've done is your block chance is increased by up to 30% based on your missing health. However, I don't know if that's enough to actually make that talent a viable choice. So that is it. So now I'm going to go through the talents that I've been playing around with and kind of give you what I think is going to be viable on that. So level 15... Into the Fray, as I said, I've been playing around with Into the Fray and Anger Management a lot. These feel like they work really well together. It is really easy to keep that 5 stack up. It'll take about 2 seconds off your shield block recharge and 1 second off your shield slam cooldown. It feels like it just works really well at low haste levels, at the low item levels. I think in terms of probably a mathematical sort of throughput talent, I can't see anything really beating Punish and Heavy Repercussions put together. though shield block is extremely expensive rage-wise at the moment, and in a single target situation, we're kind of rage-starved. It's going to be interesting what comes out of that, but Into the Fray actually feels quite good. I quite enjoy it. Punish is just a ridiculous talent though. At high item level, it's going to be the #1 go-to talent, I would think. And it obviously works extremely well with heavy repercussions. Impending Victory still doesn't really do a lot for me. Level 30, Crackling Thunder, Bounding Stride, and Safeguard. These all have merit. These all have situations where they're viable, and I actually quite like that row. So I'm just going with Crackling Thunder at the moment in dungeons, just as a default option. I kind of feel it's the best one there. Level 45, Best Served Cold, Unstoppable Force, and whatever's going to come. Unstoppable Force is awesome. So this just seems like the standout choice again. And again, if you go with an anger management build, I was having Avatar up, I want to say like every pull and a half. Like every second pull, I would have Avatar up to just burst out massive damage, and Unstoppable Force feels really good. Level 60, Indomitable, Never Surrender, and Bolster. So again, Bolster's the second form of mitigation that warriors have now. Shield block is extremely expensive. It's at the moment with low haste levels, keeping 100% uptime isn't actually a thing, unless I'm just doing it really wrong. So Bolster provides a much cheaper alternative for mitigation than we have. It is weird that it's a talent and warriors have nothing else. It's also strange that it's locked behind the GCD. The choice in this row, I don't think Never Surrender really factors into it, but Indomitable with the extra 10% max health increase, warriors have no absorb anymore, and the only 5-second window to deal with magic damage is Spell Reflect, where you get that 15% magic reduction. Outside of that, you have no way to deal with spell damage. The lower HP pool of a warrior, perhaps Indomitable will bring some choice to encounters like that, but otherwise I think Bolster's going to be your default. Level 75 Menace, Rumbling Earth, and Stormbolt. Again, there's some choice here, depending on what you're doing. Dungeon-wise, I think Rumbling Earth is going to be the main pick. Level 90, Booming Voice, Vengeance, and Devastator. Now, I just like Devastator because I hate pressing Devastate. I do not enjoy it. I tried playing with Vengeance and Booming Voice for a couple of dungeons and went back to having to press Devastate, which I hadn't done in so long, and it felt all out of sorts. Now, one thing that I will say is that Vengeance actually gave me much better control over my active mitigation around shield block. Obviously, the reduced rage cost goes a long way when it's so expensive and we're rage starved as it is. So Vengeance, from a defensive perspective, I actually felt very solid with taking. I just hated pressing Devastate. So regardless of what's actually better, I will just be running Devastator because I don't want to press Devastate. In terms of a rage generation situation, and I'll just address this now, in AoE situations where you pull big, you will be absolutely swimming in rage. You will not have, you will be rage capped. You don't actually have enough abilities to spend your rage quick enough off cooldown. You will be rage capped for bits. Whereas with Vengeance, it's the exact same situation. AoE pulls, you are still going to be rage capped. The only difference when it comes down to is single target. Vengeance gives you a lot more control over your mitigation in a single target aspect, because single target, we're very much rage starved. Like if you wanted to play, let's call it properly, and use shield block to as close as 100% uptime as you can, you will be pretty much just pooling rage to sink it all into shield blocks. It's fairly boring. Level 100, Anger Management and Heavy Repercussions and Ravager. Ravager really doesn't get a look in. Heavy Repercussions works extremely well with Punish. I think Into the Fray works really well with Anger Management. Yeah. These two are just standout talents for this row. I think Heavy Repercussions and Punish are probably going to be the cookie cutter kind of way to go. But I've been having a lot of fun with Anger Management, as I said, and having Avatar up basically every pull and a half sort of in a dungeon, and that has been great. And I'm seeing like really decent damage being chalked out from that. So that's pretty much it for the talents, guys. So around how Prot Warrior's been developing since I've kind of been playing on and off it through BFA beta. Shield block going back to 6 seconds was great. It was down to 4 seconds for 40 rage, which was absolutely ridiculous. It is back to 6 seconds. It probably still needs a rage cost reduction in my opinion. 40 rage is just way too expensive unless they go about fixing the rage generation in a single target format. As I said though, if mitigation is your primary concern, you can always run Vengeance over Devastator and it will give you sort of better availability and better resource management around your active mitigation. Having Avatar, Intimidating Shout, Rallying Cry, Shockwave all as baseline is really nice. The bigger issue, as I mentioned when I was talking about Indomitable versus Bolster, is having that low HP pool and no real way to deal with magic damage, no absorption anymore. Outside Spell Reflect, I don't know what's going to happen there. In regards to physical scenarios, you can take Bolster and then you can just save your shield block for larger specific abilities, which may function really well there. So maybe we need to get out of that mentality of this 100% shield block uptime thing. If it stays at this rage expense, use Bolster a hell of a lot more and save shield block for those, you know, really specific 1-2 hits. Into the Phrase rework has felt really nice, as I mentioned, and again I'll be interested to see the math and the theory that kind of comes out on that. I've really enjoyed it at the lower haste spectrum of the thing, of the game even, of the thing. Yeah, and I've done quite a lot of dungeons now. I've done a level and a bit just through running dungeons back to back. And my damage has been really, really good. It's been weird. On some occasions, I feel like an absolute brick wall. On other times, I really feel like I'm getting chunked to pieces. And that just may be my, you know, lacking fantastic warrior ability. But it's felt quite strange around that. And obviously magic damage, you know, there are really gaping holes in this where you really do get smacked around. All up though, I don't think the prot warrior feels terrible. Do I want to play it? No, this hasn't convinced me to, whereas when I played the changes for Vengeance Demon Hunter, it was something that I was like, holy shit, I'm going to play Vengeance Demon Hunter as a second tank spec in BFA now. Prot Warrior hasn't done that. It took me a little bit to get into it and to get used to it again. I definitely think they need to change Bolster off the GCD. I've seen a lot of calls for Bolster to become a baseline talent. I don't know how I actually feel about that one. It is weird that Warriors only have shield block outside of a talent for a second form of mitigation. But yeah, it's not horrendous, but it's not great. So I don't know honestly what to tell you guys that play Warriors out there that don't have beta, that can't try this for yourself and you're trying to figure out what to play. I don't think it's terrible, and it does feel pretty good in dungeons, but it's not something that made me think, shit, I want to play a warrior. I'm really gravitating towards this. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So hopefully this kind of overview and my impressions or input has given you some insight into it and helps you. I'm sorry I probably can't be more definitive in that answer. If you want me to check out further things or you want to know specific things, guys, let me know in the comments below and I will come back on and I will check it out. But that is pretty much it around the Prot Warrior now with my feels. Thanks very much for taking the time to check out the video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you all next time. See you guys.